If you've just clicked on this, you might be someone spending way too much time or way too much money inefficiently dating girls for the first time. Or you might be someone just curious on how to optimize the efficiency of their dating life in general, especially looking at first dates. I will label myself with confidence as the most efficient first dater in the human generation history, whether that looks like financial investment, time management, and success within them first dates that we're creating. I am numero uno. So if you want to learn from experience, if you want to learn from an authoritative voice, then listen up. There are some key pointers and some super intricate hacks to take away from today's video. Master the first date. For me, the intention of the first date and the purpose of the first date needs to be understood. Before you even think about dating, it's a really very good and efficient exercise for you to do to align yourself with what you're actually trying to attract. Because if you go on a first date open-minded as a man, everything kind of becomes messy from the start. You don't know where to take her, you don't know what to talk about, you don't know what to present and how to portray, you don't know what clothes to wear. You want to be knowing why you're dating. And I'm not saying you know every single girl and how she's going to be, but in the approach, we should be trying to qualify these girls. So if we're approaching girls or finding girls on dating apps, we should be trying to qualify them as soon as possible. But if you're on dating apps, I presume you're casually dating anyway. And if you're approaching girls in the street, you should be knowing, is this girl in even the category of like relationship material? If not, it's a casual date and my intentions need to be super aligned so I can then present and portray on the first date the important things to attract her into the correct environment. So I see a lot of guys mixing up like relationship type first dates to casual first dates. There's a big difference and we will talk about that. I'm going to put it as a bonus section. Dividing intentions. Be patient with my left hand blocking the whole thing while I'm writing. Dividing intentions, we'll speak about that at the end because it's very important to do. But what I want to start is the steps of mastering the first date from my personal experience and a few, again, tricks that I've learned along the way to build a lot of success to the point where in the last 2 or 3 years of dating, I have never, ever been rejected for a second date if I've wanted to proceed and ask her for that. Time and financial management is something a lot of guys struggle with. I think most guys could be separated into 2 categories. One, they're too date to broke, so they just sit at home and do nothing about it, or they spend all their time and energy trying to portray high value when they don't have it. And the second type of people are guys with a lot of money but limited social skills, so they rely on their financial and economical status to provide dates, meaning they're taking girls to expensive restaurants and the girls don't even appreciate the company. They're going there for the food and they're not appreciating you on the date. It's just a date with another guy who's feeding them. And go to cities like Latin America or Miami or LA or London now, you get a lot of situations like this with westernized females who are notoriously using men for their pockets. So we're going to break down time and financial management. One of the most important things to talk about here is where are we taking this girl and what financial investment are we looking at providing? For me, the money is not important whatsoever. And it's certainly not from an aspect of, I don't have the money, so I'm just going to take her to a coffee shop. But should money be an aspect of the first date, or are we trying to explore a connection, whether that's for something casual or a relationship? We should still be quality controlling the real connection that we face. And therefore, the most authentic and productive dating scene humanly possible is a coffee shop. So I'm going to write the first thing, which is the coffee shop funnel. I'm going to write coffee shop as CS. CS funnel. The coffee shop funnel is essentially proposing the first date as a coffee shop. And what you're going to have is maybe 20, 30, 40% of girls that will look at you and go, what? You want to take me to a coffee shop for a first date? No. And do you know what we say to them? We say, good riddance. Because if a girl is not interested in seeing you and enjoying and appreciating your time and energy, whether it be in a coffee shop or a Michelin restaurant, she doesn't deserve it. Or alternatively, if you want to take a lot of responsibility, you didn't do a good enough job when you approached her, or when you reached out to her, or when you texted her, or when you presented yourself to her in any fashion. So we need to really understand how we're doing that to make sure that when we propose a coffee shop, it's not like, hey babe, meet me at Starbucks and we'll talk. It's, and this comes on to my next trick, the coffee shop hack. So the funnel is basically throwing away the trash, but if you want to be very efficient about it, we don't want to throw away any potential gold that might see your efforts as minimal. So the way we portray a coffee shop day as being still something that is valuable for us, especially with our time and investment, is by saying something along these lines, which has worked for me notoriously over the years. Hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah. I know the best coffee shop in, let's take New York. I know the best coffee shop in New York, and I never took anyone to it. I'd love to show you it. Or, by the way, there's this super amazing coffee shop in New York. It's on one of the back street. No one knows about it. I'd love to take you there. Bang. What are you gonna do? Go on TikTok or cool coffee shops in New York, spend 2 minutes scrolling, find one, bang, take her there. How does this feel different to, hey babe, meet me at Starbucks at 5 o'clock? Well, she feels like you put effort and created a unique environment for her on the date. So she feels special, and all girls, above a lot of characteristics and traits in a man, want one that can make them feel special. So we're gonna tell a girl, hey, I know this super amazing coffee shop. I go there a lot, but I've never taken anyone to it. Do you wanna be my first person to come to it? It's amazing, you're gonna love it. It's so cute. The coffee's amazing. All coffee tastes the same. Everyone knows all coffee tastes the same. If there's any Colombians in here that wanna get annoyed at me because they think they have amazing coffee, it doesn't. Nescafe or homegrown coffee, it tastes the same. And most girls anyway pour a bunch of vanilla and caramel syrup in it anyway, so it just tastes like fucking sugar and milk. So not to worry. You're gonna take her there, get her an extra shot of caramel syrup. Like, oh, this is really sweet and nice. Yeah, babe. This is my super private and luxury coffee shop that no one knows about. Bang, take her there. She loves you. She's amazing. Oh, he took me to this really cute coffee shop that he never showed. It was so cute, blah, blah, blah. All that interesting stuff. Coffee shop funnel, get rid. Coffee shop hack, make her feel special, make her feel appreciated. And I'm not one for expressing all of this in a malicious way or a manipulative way. I do believe you should be looking at girls and differentiating them and making them feel special. But for me, the idea of the first day is to make sure we have a good vibe, to make sure we have a good connection, and to keep it low financial and time investment, because my time is valuable. And if I don't know you, I'm not prepared to sit here and invest 2 hours sitting down across to a dinner table with you while Juan Carlos, the Mexican waiter, is over my shoulder going, do you want more tacos? No, thank you, brother, I don't. I don't know why Juan Carlos turned into an Italian man halfway through that conversation. But nevertheless, time and financial management is integral for a few reasons. Finances, we don't want to be spending anything we don't need to on women that we don't know are worth it yet. That's a simple mathematical equation for me, and that's coming from a wealthy man that still does that. Second of all, we want a woman to know our time is valuable. And if on the first date we are already portraying that we have 2 hours to sit here and chat to her about Pokemon, then she's already understanding through our actions that our time is not valuable. I like, the sweet spot for me on a first date is 45 minutes. And I know a lot of you will be thinking, excuse my handwriting, again, left-handed. I know a lot of you will be thinking, wow, that's crazy. How do you get in and out in 45 minutes? High energy, meaningful, not service level, deep, meaningful, high energy, intricate conversations, strong eye contact and body language continuously throughout the day. And we're gonna talk about active listening in a second. But strong eye contact and body language throughout the day create a very close proximity of energy to where you almost feel like you're shut off from the entire world. Pay her good and quality attention. Ask meaningful, proper questions. I asked a question to a girl the other day, and this kind of goes against the meaningful part of it, but good, interesting questions. We were literally sitting across to each other, and I went to her, by the way, if you had to kill me in 24 hours, how would you do it? It's a great spin-off question. It allows playfulness. It allows a high level of energy. And we're going to talk about the fun energy when we come on to dividing intentions. I want to keep it fairly structured for now. So looking at time and financial investment, the most important things to take away from this are Don't feel the need to spend a load of money on a first date, even if you have money. Unless you are dating a Russian woman, in which case you're gonna need to provide finances, because that's just how they operate and that's just how it is. So if you're dating a Russian woman, provide money up front. If it's any other woman in the world, your energy should be the most valuable thing she's getting from you, not the food, not the finances that you're providing on the day, not the Uber that's gonna pick her up, all right? The coffee shop hack, make her feel special, make her feel unique, and not spending more than 45 minutes. We wanna keep the energy super high, and if you need a way to escape after 45 minutes, I find a good idea is always to organize a friend to call you, or just generally take a call, look on your phone and go, fuck, I have an emergency with work. This was amazing. It was super nice to see you. And again, we're gonna be talking about the cliffhanger in a bit, how we need to end it. But hey, this was amazing. It was super fun. I have to go. We have an emergency at work. The system shut down. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna text you later when you get home safe. Text me when you get home safe. Blah blah blah. A couple of little details to make her feel, you know, appreciated. And that'd be the end of date one. 45 minutes is a great time span to allow her to feel comfortable around you, to allow her to like what the future looks like between you, whether again that be a casual or a meaningful relationship, and therefore puts her in a position where she's willing to now invest more time in you. Ta-da, second date. Active listener. Do you know what? I actually want to talk about a cliffhanger first, because we're kind of on the note of it, and then we'll come back to the active listening technique. So when we are closing this date after 45 minutes, just like your favorite Netflix shows, leave it on a cliffhanger. When you leave something on a cliffhanger, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, when you're watching a TV program and you leave it on the cliffhanger, and it comes up with a little option on the bottom right saying, watch next video, bang, bang, bang. You press it so quickly. You're so emotionally invested in watching the next video that you're willing to press it a million times, next one, next one, next one. You might mess up your routine. You might stay up an hour later instead just to watch the next one, just to find out what happened. We have to do the same thing in our frame. We have to be an interesting first date, leaving a certain level of mystery, so that we leave the date on a cliffhanger. Which, what does that cliffhanger look like? Well, it looks like, this was amazing, we were getting on really well, he's super funny, he made me laugh, he made me interested, I still don't know loads about him, and I really want to know more. And then bang, he just disappears while the date was going really well. So this is one of the biggest mistakes guys make. Letting some fucking rotation here, spinal rotation. Letting the date fizzle out. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make on a first date. They meet a girl, they have no consciousness about time, space, what's going on, what the plan was, if the date was great, where are you going to take her after. You need to align all this stuff before. Again, got to get onto it. But when the date is going really well and you feel a great energy with her, don't wait for it to come back down until you exit. Look at it like a Forex trading chart. You know, as soon as you pull out your investments at the bottom, it's worth much less. Build it up, take out your investments at the top, wait for the right time to reinvest. If you reinvest going down, you leave a negative relationship. And essentially, in this day and age, if you're dating a pretty woman, they're probably dating a couple of guys. So when you leave them on a low, they're much less entitled to remember you, to look forward to the next date, to text you back, to give you the same energy via text. And I'm talking about such a high on a date that when I text her going, hey, when can I see you again? She's gonna reply going, tomorrow, please, tomorrow. Please make time for me tomorrow. Diego, I know you're so busy. And I know you guys think this is so far away from you, but if you start to put steps into place, you can achieve this 100%. Diego, please, can you make time for me tomorrow? I love you, I miss you, blah, blah, blah. And that's the environment that we wanna create. So don't let the date fizzle out. It's a huge mistake guys make. End it on a high, end it on a cliffhanger. We're gonna come back to the active listening option. And there's two important things to know about active listening. Strong eye contact and subtle smile. Strong eye contact. My handwriting is abysmal. My dating is far better than my handwriting. Strong eye contact and subtle smile. First, we're going to talk about the strong eye contact. When a girl is talking, which ideally on the first date she'd be doing a little bit more of, you'd be leading via your actions and your conversation points as opposed to actually talking a lot. And that's a reason for it. We want to still create an abundance of mystery within ourselves. To be an active listener, you need to be able to maintain and hold strong eye contact. So when she's talking, you want to be trying to, in a calm and nonchalant fashion, kind of stare into her soul. And what that looks like is a very relaxed body language. Your body language is very relaxed. Your head might even be back a little bit, slightly face back. You know, you don't want to be in her face like this and looking at her. So we might have a nice relaxed posture. Our head might be leaning back a little bit, or generally we might be leaning back. We'd be really looking at her like this, like I am in the lens now. The way we're talking to her, we'd be looking at her the whole time. And I've even incorporated the subtle smile that I like to talk about. And the reason we're going to do this is because a girl would like a man who's going to pay attention to her. And when you stare at her, and don't misinterpret the word stare. Stare isn't this. When you pay her that form of strong and detailed attention, she feels seen and she feels heard. For herself, for what she's saying. A man that can listen and be attractive under silence is a very, very powerful man. Going on to the subtle smile that we want to incorporate within the listening, there's two ways you can do this. First of all, there's the way where she's just talking and you're looking at her and listening like this. And I prefer that to just nodding at her. When you nod at her, for me, it's just very agreeable and almost like a business meeting. When you have a subtle smile, she doesn't know what you're thinking. She doesn't know if you're smiling at what she's saying, if you're enjoying it, if you're laughing at it, if you're being playful with her, how you feel. A subtle smile is a great way to create some form of rapport, but also a little bit of mystery and attain that little bit of mystery. Then we're going to talk about the subtle smile trick, which looks like this. At some point in the first date, you're going to ask her a question. It's going to hopefully be a meaningful and fairly deep question, and she's going to go on some form of monologue talking about it. You're looking for around like a 20-30 second time period of her just speaking. So a fairly detailed description of something. It could be a story, it could be an event that happened in her life, it could be something that means a lot to her. And when she does this, what you're going to do is you're going to let her pan out after maintaining that strong eye contact and them subtle smiles. And after she finishes speaking, instead of jumping back in to reply to her or to fill in the gaps or to give her your opinion about it, oh, I think this, oh, by the way, I also did this, blah, blah, blah. Me. Leave a few seconds of extended silence and tension. Add in a subtle smile. And this is what's going to happen every time you do it. She's going to say what she wants to say. Then you're going to leave the silence. And in that silence, she's going to understand, oh, I just talked a lot and he's a really good listener. And then after the couple of seconds of silence, you're going to look at her and you're going to add that subtle smile. And again, like this. A very subtle smile. It's not there. It's almost raising one cheekbone, if you like. And then she's going to reply again, almost every time. She's going to start blushing or laughing and say like, what are you smiling at? And that's when you follow up with an extremely tension-fulfilling and strong masculine statement along the lines of, nothing, I'm just listening to you. When you can say this with confidence and not rush to fill in the gaps, your masculine frame gets put on a pedestal. You get put on the pedestal, and we are no longer allowing her to feel like she is the prize in this situation, because we don't want a female to have that kind of mindset, especially when we're already on the first date. So, talking about being an active listener, we've covered strong eye contact and a subtle smile, and the trick of a subtle smile, and I want all of you on your next first date to try it. And if you're not getting first dates, then you need to look at the description on this video, because we need to get you some first dates. And if you're not having success in that, then I invite you to my mentorship program, where I'm going to teach you exactly how to create abundance in your dating life. But for now, we're going to end, or the penultimate point, before talking about dividing our intentions, on mystery and how important mystery is. Mystery isn't actually important for the date itself. For the date itself, yes, she's going to feel like, oh, he's a bit mysterious, interesting. It's more for when she leaves the date, and we want to get them reoccurring results. Because if she leaves the date feeling like she knows a lot about you, she's essentially going to go home and make a decision: do I want him or not? And knowing everything about you on the first date is a bit fucking boring. Like, you can't, we're not that interesting as people. One of the most interesting things about people is mystery, is learning more, is being with them more, is spending more time with them. So for her to know everything about our life is a super self-destructive mechanism that we're using. So when you think you're being vulnerable and open and honest with her, you're actually destroying your chances of maintaining a second date. Because just like the cliffhanger where she wants to press on the next episode and watch more, she needs to have something to watch. The cliffhanger needs to be good. It needs to be laying up to something, a strong, interesting man. So first of all, have an interesting life. If you haven't already done this, you're slacking in your dating life. Create an interesting life. It's going to be one of the most fluent mechanisms to allow you to be an efficient dater. And once you've created an interesting lifestyle and you have interesting things to talk about and you have interesting experiences and conversation points and opinions, you can't give it all away on the first date. This is why we're going to become a very, very good active listener. And if you do want to talk about yourself, talk about opinions and generalities. Generality. It's just not a fucking word. Add that one to the Diego Day dictionary. Fucking tick. Be general. Be general in the way you communicate about your opinions and about your life. It's going to be enough for her if you can do it in a confident manner. So when she asks you, are you close to your family? Like, yeah, I've got a really interesting family. Flip the question on her. Create a new technique of conversation. And this doesn't look like avoiding the questions. Actually, if you're in lead of the conversation, she's not going to ask many questions. You're going to ask her a question, she's going to give an answer, you're going to dive deeper down into the situation, and then you're going to have a bounce back and forth conversation about that topic. But you've asked her the original question and got her opinion on it and her specific example on it, so you're learning about her life, so she feels like she's investing her energy into you, but you're not actually giving her like personal details. So she needs to leave the day essentially thinking, great guy, super interesting, sexy masculine frame, but I don't know, there's so much more to know about him. I'd still love to know about like his upbringing, like I don't even know what he does for work, fuck. We talked about things he doesn't, and this is a great example. He talked about having meetings on a day-to-day basis about sales, but I don't even know what he sells. And that's the kind of push and pull we want to create, the mechanism we want to create, where she gets it and she feels comfortable around you, but there's so much more to unlock. So we don't want to give it away on the first date. And this is obvious. Girls love mystery. And if we can create mystery, then they know that they need to invest themselves to find out more about you. And when girls can invest themselves either via time or emotions, just like anything in life, the more we invest into something emotionally and physically, the more connected we feel to it. Imagine if you made a $1,000 investment and then imagine you made a $100,000 investment. Which one are you going to be checking out every day? Which one are you going to be making sure is going well, looking at, following, obsessed with almost in a manner, right? The $100,000 investment. So we need her to invest $100,000 of emotion into us, into our life, of interest. So she's going to be checking, she's going to be following, she's going to be interested. She's going to become obsessed in a healthy manner, which is essentially what we want in the universe of abundance. Girls to be virtually obsessed with us. So mystery is integral. Make sure you are maintaining that aspect to your life. The last thing I want to talk about is dividing intentions. I'm going to throw away the pen for this, and I'm just going to look at the camera and tell you. For me, I break dating down into 3 categories. Casual dating, and by that I mean like basically sex. Prolonged casual dating, which is like maintaining a relationship with a girl in a non-serious fashion, but dedicating like numerous amounts of dates and times with her. So you're basically together, but you're not going to get married. And especially for guys who travel like me all around the world, this is a very common theme of dating. Maybe for you younger guys out there, people that are like 22, 23. For me, this is the best way of dating. You can create a situation of abundance and value, transactional value, alongside having a girl that you really like and enjoy her company and brings you peace, etc., etc. And then there's the third aspect to it, which is, creating a lasting and loving relationship. I've mastered all three on different scales. And the important thing to know behind mastering all three differently is knowing how that looks in terms of your dating alignment. So looking at like trying to attain short casual relationships where it's primarily physically and sexually focused. Fun. The word is fun, the play is fun, the game is fun. You need to create a massively fun environment without being incredibly cringy and incredibly simpy. Your masculine frame is important, but it's not integral. It comes into play massively in the other two aspects. Your focus should be fun. How much can I make her laugh without being forceful? Can I take her to a fun environment? Can we talk about innuendos and stories and not meaningful conversations? I don't want to be talking to her about how many kids she wants. I want to be talking about dogs and unicorns and fucking, past experiences, etc., etc. Like stories between us, traveling, life, great, fun. Like nothing else matters. You want to create an environment to her where she's with you on that day and all of the stress in her life has disappeared and she just felt fucking great with you. She felt butterflies. She felt like a weight lifted off her shoulder. She forgot she existed for a second. You want to make it super easy for her, super relaxed for her, take her out, high energy, loads of nice, light-hearted, topical conversations, and you're looking for a successful result. In the midterm, it still needs to be fun, or without commitment, there's no reason for a girl wanting to be around you. So it still needs to be fun, because essentially, if you're not committed to a girl, she needs to be having fun around you. And that fun needs to come with a strong masculine frame where she can maintain respect for you. And the masculine frame is essentially going to come in handy, because if she can't respect you and if she doesn't respect you, it's going to prevent the longevity of that casual relationship. You're going to be able to do like 3 weeks with her, and then she's going to lose respect for you, and then she's going to start nagging you. Why don't you spend more time with me? Why don't you do this for me? Why don't you take me out on dates? Blah, 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 blah. As if she's your girlfriend when she's not. And then you're going to lose interest and become unattracted to her. So you need to create an environment of fun, but she needs to understand that your time and energy have value, and hold that strong masculine frame so she can maintain the level of attraction to you. And then on the third aspect, where we're looking at a serious relationship, we're looking at finding the one, if you like, we need to align ourselves with that. We need to present strong. We need to present calm. We need to present stoic. This is where stoicism comes at its finest play. If you're dating a girl and looking to attain her in the longest lasting fashion, as the mother of your children or as a wife, stoicism is integral. You need to approach the date in the most calm and comfortable fashion and create the most calm and comfortable environment as you possibly can. And this looks like a relaxed body language, a calm and a slow-paced tone of voice. You need to align your eye contact, your presentation. What clothes are you wearing? Are you serious? Don't turn up in a tracksuit. Present well. Show her that you're a serious person. The fun will be naturally incorporated within the connection that you guys are going to explore. But when you're looking for something serious, you need to provide a strong sense of a masculine frame along with an incredible, intentional level of stoicism. And when you do that, and when you provide that level of comfort for a girl to come into the date and really sit in her feminine energy, she will then be able to reciprocate the emotions of essentially being ready for that first date. There was a lot of information. Go back, watch it again, take notes, take actionable notes. And one of the most important things I'll say, guys, is when you watch videos like this, you need to relate it to your life. You need to relate it to your dating life. Where do you see yourself in the things that I've said? Where do you see that you're lacking? Where do you see that you can take steps of action to improve? And I'm gonna give you one right now. On the link in the description is my personal mentorship program, where you have access to me to talk about your personal experiences, to ask me questions, and also get an unbelievable amount of intricate courses that give you essentially the playbook to mastering not only the first date, but the whole entire game step by step. So I hope to see you in there, and I hope that all of you repel the idea of the common man who sits there, understands he needs to do something and does nothing about it, and instead you become the man who takes action, who does something about it, who starts to strive and make changes to his life.